and I'm here with Michael Canciglia. We're going to continue from where we left off, and this class is going to be very interesting. Now, you remember last week we did being there number 1, where we sat across from each other?
Right.
I want to make one thing clear about this, and that's on page 76 of the book. Read starting from here.
Okay, I have, in this book it's 81.
Huh?
I have page 81.
No, the drill.
Okay.
You have page 76? Yeah, okay. Where's the drill?
Right here, I have this one.
Yeah, right there.
Right, which is 80, so this is 81.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, okay, what I'd like you to do is read that.
Okay.
Okay, this drill was, as far as I know, the first one that taught this drill was Webster Edgar Lee, the father of personal magnetism. And here is, in his own words, an explanation of the drill. Now, once you've done that, we always start the class with that.
Okay.
That's to get us both into present time. Okay, so but I'd like you to read starting over there.
The two persons who are to engage in this exercise should select some room where the light is mild, neither very bright nor very dim. The light need not shine in the face of either party. Sit facing each other with knees almost touching, both feet fully on the floor, and the palms of both hands on the legs near the knees. Put the eyes in the position of strong interest, the brows normal, that is, neither raised nor lowered at the face opening. See observation number 42.
Open face, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All these are essential requirements. Sit upright, look into the eyes of your colleague all the time. That glance is being maintained. There must be no winking, no resting of the eye, nor any movement of the body. All must be dead still. It is almost important, it is a most important magnetic principle that we should never perform an act of any kind unless there is thought behind it, directing it.
Very important law also. Okay, those are the very words of Webster Edgar Lee, and this was written, I think, in 1922. Because in one variation or other, this drill is done by many people in many organizations. So, but these are the words of Webster Edgar Lee. I think probably he was the first one to do this. Okay, so let us begin with that. Being there number 1. You can put the book down there. All right, and you want to come over just a little bit this way. Watch the book. Okay, you're a little closer this way so we can pick up the camera. That's it. Very good. In fact, the closer, the most uncomfortably close, the better. Okay, so I want you to be there and do it. Nothing else except be there. Go ahead. That's very good. Now, are you looking at me or through me?
I'm looking right here.
Okay, I want you to just don't get fixed on any particular spot. Just look at my eyes.
Okay, and my eyes move forward.
Yeah. Well, my eyes must be getting stronger because I can do it without the glasses. Okay, that's excellent. Very good. Your posture is good. Everything is coming out through. Good. Okay. Next is the words. Irkutsk, Irkutsk, Irkutsk.
Irkutsk, Irkutsk, Irkutsk.
Good. Kamsk, Kamsk, Kamsk.
Kamsk, Kamsk, Kamsk.
Excellent. Very good. You've been doing your homework. Great. All right. We begin today with, we finished the mental determinations. Now we begin with the standard magnetic statement. I think you did this a little bit when you were on the voice course,
Right.
because I used to use this. But let's just do it today for the sake of the people watching it. So, standard magnetic statement. The sun, on its luminous wings, you can sit down here now, just push the chair out of the way, please. Oh, okay.
The sun on its luminous wings
Soars majestically.
soars majestically
From horizon to horizon.
from horizon to horizon
As the symbol of life.
as the symbol of life.
Okay, I don't care what you said earlier to me about how the way you've been feeling. You look better and you act better, and that's what I'm interested in. Because the student doesn't always know the extent of his improvement. He doesn't notice it. And that happens to me too when I'm working on very high stuff. And sometimes in my meditation in the morning, I sit there and look at these things very closely to see where am I in all this. It's difficult. Sometimes the student does not know that he has improved, but your face looks good, it's clean, it's clear, your intention is there. Almost there's a little anger there, I detect, but which is good, makes you want to move. And your body, your posture is good, it's fine. Go ahead, say what you wanted to say.
Well, no, the meditation in the morning, is you focus on anything specifically or just focus on what you want to
Well,
do in
that's
the
not
day?
part of this course. That's part of 5A.
Oh,
This
okay,
course
all
is
right.
all physical.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to meditate in the morning, I do every morning. Did you receive the document I sent you by email, an attachment called An Elixir of Life?
I don't think so.
No?
When was it? Recently?
2 weeks ago.
I think
A
so.
week and a half ago. Okay, before you leave today, remind me. All you have to do is do exactly what's there. I mix it with a couple of ingredients which help create a transmutation within yourself. You're going to enjoy it. And it's also very good for the health.
And does that set your day, like, like prepare you for the day?
Look, I can tell by the questions that people ask where their heads are at. You're placing importance on the modus operandi. That's not what's important. What's important is you. You can be a son of a bitch, and you can still win without doing all of these things. Because you're determined to win. Everything is up to you. Now, I want to put something in here. And I want to put it in such a way, because I don't want to overwhelm anybody, and I don't want to go against anybody's creeds or credence. Is that the word, credence?
Great.
What they believe,
Yeah.
right? We were brought up with this idea that God is up there and we're here. And that we're bad and God is good. That's what was put into our heads. We're sinners. We were born in sin. You never heard that before from the religions? Of course you did. Well, it's not like that anymore. I have discovered, and others have discovered the same thing I have, that God is not up there, and God is not a person. God is not even a thinking entity. God is simply, now I don't want you to believe what I say. I'm saying this because I think it's so important. This actually belongs in 5A, but it will help you with this. I call what people call God. I don't even want to use that word anymore because the word God has been so prostituted. Nobody knows what God is. Nobody. So if you want to know what God is, you sit down for 15 minutes every morning. And that's why you do that meditation and think about it. You may want to start with, who am I, where did I come from, what am I doing here, where am I going? Think about this whole mess. How did we end up over here? They talk about God, blah, blah, blah. Think about all these things, and that's how you discover things for yourself. It doesn't matter whether others believe in what you believe or anything. As long as you believe it, and as long as you get good results is what matters. Now, let's go on. So, I don't use the word God anymore. I use the word universal beingness. You're a being, I'm a being. We're a being because we're existing right now. Be there, sit there and be there. You are existing, right? So, I call the universal being is an existence. It's not a piece of matter. It's not smoke. It's not rain. But it's a consciousness which is not conscious of itself. It just is. It's an isness. Go to page 7 on my website. It's all explained there. I asked students, I asked them, and people don't go in it. Read it. It's all there. Now, this beingness gave rise to everything that we have on the planet. That plant is part of it. The grass. Do you put anything in the ground to make all this grass grow? It's just there, right? It grows by itself. Of course you can plant seeds, but even if you plant seeds, how come the damn things come to life and grow? And so we don't need to go into science anymore. That is proof enough for us that there is something that grows people and grass and flowers and animals. That is what I call the universal beingness. It exists. It doesn't think like man does. It doesn't reason like man does. It is a beingness, almost like a great beingness that was, is, and will always be. You only have, if something is, never was, but is, there's no end to it, it's an infinity, then it's always in the present moment, in the present time. So it has no knowledge of past, present, and future. It just exists. Now, it does exist, but it has the ability to postulate. And a postulation is like a decree. I don't want to go into that because that's too difficult to explain. But the universal beingness has postulated every form of life on this planet. It does it automatically. It doesn't have to reason or think or anything. Man is the only animal that can think. Now, in order for that beingness to develop, this is very important, and I'm not telling it to you literally. I want you to think about it. That universal beingness, in order to develop self-consciousness, it needs you. It needs you. And fortunately, most people don't know about the universal beingness, or they don't care about it. As if you don't care about it, the universal beingness doesn't need you, because obviously you're not a good son of the Father. We'll call it the Father. So, it actually needs your consciousness in order for the universal consciousness to know itself. Now, as you do this stuff, and you study this stuff, especially course 5+, and in 5A, by the way, did you get the update on Course 5 Plus? No. What's happening? Do I have your
Well, I'll have to check
correct?
that.
Yeah, it's very important. So, when you tune in to the universal beingness, and you don't tune in by doing weird stuff, contemplating your navel and all that, or going to caves like the Indians used to do. This is a new era. We have mind, we have reason and intelligence. And even though intelligence and reason are very much aberrated in man, and you'll know why in Course 5A, that is all we have. So we use it properly. Like Rudolf Steiner recommended, use your reason and your intelligence to discover this great beingness. So if you think about it, it'll come to you bit by bit by bit. And every time you hit a truth, you'll feel good about it. An intuitive truth makes you feel good. So, once you establish a communication with this thing, it's like you're a chord, you're a musician, we're both musicians, you're a chord, the universal beingness is the big chord. And your chord, if it's out of tune with the big chord, hey, everything in your life's going to go wrong. But as you start learning this material, that chord becomes in tune with the universal chord. When it does, you will know what to do automatically. You will know what you love to do. You know that statement, do what you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. So, once you're in tune with it, now here's the key. You actually become part of it. Not in quantity, not yet anyway, but in quality. You are it. You are God. There's another saying, I forgot who said it, but there is no God except man. I forgot who said it. So, when you get to a point where you're perfectly in tune with the big chord, what you say will automatically be in tune with the universal beingness chord. And therefore, whatever you say and decree and postulate is what will happen. So all these earthquakes that we've been having, all of these things throughout the world, things falling apart, email after email telling us how bad it is, I disconnected from those emails. Tell them, listen, don't give me the poison without the antidote. They get your head filled with such negativity. And if you happen to be a sensitive guy, which I know you are, and I am too, and we are somewhat connected to the universal chord, we can actually bring it about without realizing that we're creating distraction. All because they filled our heads with gloom and doom. So I don't pay any attention to that stuff anymore. And that's why in my book, The Path of Hidden Knowledge, on Sublime Realm number 10, I tell people, drop out. There's nothing good in what's going on. Although everything is good that is part of the universal beingness, men and women out there, the majority, are not good. I'm not saying that they're bad and you should treat them bad. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying they don't know. They don't know what's going on. That is only one, what was the figure that I gave it? 1 in, I think it was 5,000. 1 in 5,000 has an idea of what's going on behind the scenes. So it's not their fault. In fact, nothing is. We all know this in Course 5A. Nothing is anybody's fault. After you know all this stuff and you study Course 5A very, very well, you'll realize there's no more sin. Nothing is a sin, except what we're going to study next, right now, which is very important. So people, they don't know. They think they were born in order to be successful and make money and have babies and take vacations and be better than thou and all of that. And so that's what they do. But that's nothing what it is at all. A person who is in tune with the big chord can sit out there in my backyard with the flowers and the vegetation and never get bored, not to have to do anything. So, when you're in tune with this chord, what you do for a living becomes part of this postulation. And as such, you'll always have money. It doesn't mean you have to spend it, like you did. It just means that you still have to use your head. You're living on a planet that's made of dirt and rock. So you have to be practical in a certain way. But you don't have to worry so much about money if you're doing the thing that the universal beingness has decreed. I hate to use that word because it's like you're being told what to do. No, you're not being told what to do. Everything is up to you. Because you are the beingness in quality, not in quantity. Not yet. Now they say that a guy, this hippie of 1,000 years ago, by the name of Jesus of Galilee, who was a very nice guy, innocent man, from everything I've read and looking at his face, I see that he was a very innocent man and a good man, good heart. He didn't know anything about making money or anything like that. In fact, he was going on doors knocking for a handout. It is said of him that he would place his hand on someone and say, "Do you believe that I can heal you?" And if he said yes, he'd heal him. If he said no, he wouldn't be healed. Because, see, then he would be interfering with the other person's universe's decrees. So he put his hand on them, they got healed. And the reason why he could do that and we can't, even though I've done it a little bit, all of us have done it a little bit. In fact, yesterday I had a student here that had a kind of a bad problem, and I did what I could for her in healing. And but we can't go around performing miracles that way because we don't have the quantity, even though we are the same quality as God, the same quality as the universal beingness. We don't have the quantity, the strength. Now we need to know more of this connection, okay? So, it's not so much, although it's part of it, it's not so much technique. You're saying, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to set up my flyers, I'm going to put them out, I'm going to work on my website, get all of these things done, which is fine, that's a technique. But that's not enough. The rest is, whatever if you decide, oh, this is so much work, and you don't do it, you've just decided. That's why it's not happening. You don't know how powerful you are. You are part of the universal beingness. Anything you decide, for good or ill, will come about. Remember that. So I think that should answer what you were speaking to me about earlier, about not getting things done. You got the technique. You know exactly what to do. And nobody's going to kick you and say, do it. You have to decide. If you decide to be industrious, and then you're not, something holds you back, then we can look into it with the FT or something like that. Sometimes there are negative things from the past that interfere, and you don't know why. Even the strongest people sometimes get into binds like that. All right, so you see, it's quite up to you. All right, now, let's get back to the statements. This is the statement that I used to bring about feeling. We did it before, so let's do just a little bit now. Go ahead and stand right over here. Just push that chair back a little bit so the camera can see you. And right over there is fine. And face the outside of the window so you can still see you. Or better, I think maybe better sit because you won't pick up your head.
Okay.
Just at the tip of the chair, at the tip. That's it, very nice and straight. Look out the window, and remember, 50% of it is said to yourself. And 50% of it, you're communicating with the universe. The sun, on its luminous wings, soars majestically from horizon to horizon as the symbol of life.
The sun, on its luminous wings, soars majestically. What was that?
From horizon to horizon.
From horizon to horizon.
As the symbol.
As a symbol of life.
Okay, you're holding it back. It's not coming out. You're holding it back in. So, try to get it out. If you want, you can imagine thousands of people watching you. What does it matter? I want you to be very selfish. You know what selfishness means? That's another thing that got your head all messed up. Don't be selfish now. No, selfishness means self-love. And without self-love, you can't do anything. What they meant is not selfishness, greediness. You got enough money, but you want more and more, so you spoil your health trying to get more and more money. That's greed, not selfishness. There's no harm in selfishness. To love yourself, if a person is not selfish, you know, there's a type of person, they're not selfish at all. They go around doing things for other people and helping here and helping there, and they don't accomplish anything. They get sick. So selfishness means just being concerned with your beingness. So be selfish in your communication right now. 50% to yourself, 50% to the universe. Okay, uncross your hands.
The sun on its luminous wings soars majestically from horizon to horizon. What's the...
As a symbol.
As a symbol of life.
Okay, that's much better already. Now remember those things that I introduced. I'm not going to do it again because I think in one of the lessons with Susan we put that in.
Right.
But you remember we had phrasing. Phrasing is where you put the commas. The sun, comma, on its luminous wings, comma, right? Then we had augmentation. That painting is beautiful. Right. And along with that augmentation and of the word comes modulation, which is ah. Now that is a technique which I discovered myself, maybe others did too, which helps in putting in the feeling. The sun on its luminous wings soars majestically from horizon to horizon as the symbol of life. Take your time and extend those words one more time.
The sun on its
expand the sun.
The sun on its luminous wings soars majestically.
Soars majestically. Elongate. Take your time.
The sun on its luminous wings soars majestically from horizon to horizon as a symbol of life.
Much, much better. The modulation is missing. We need to go up and down more. The sun on its luminous wings soars majestically from horizon to horizon as the symbol of life. So we're coming down at the end. Once you can do these things properly, the feeling is there. It will never leave you for the rest of your life.
The sun on its luminous wings soars majestically.
Too fast. Slow down.
The sun on its luminous wings, soars majestically from horizon to horizon as a symbol of life.
Good, good.